it up on here. This is gonna kick in. You can throw those on. Starting live. All right. Why is this not coming through my speakers? Hang on. Kill it. It's gonna load back up. All right, check this out.
All right, come on.
Do it, Keegan.
Oh, the one where they eat soap?
Tide Pod.
Oh my god.
This is just a perfect example of Darwinism at its finest, as far as I'm considered.
Are we sure these are real?
They're putting Tide Pods in their mouth. Look at that kid.
Oh my god.
Oh man, you're so cool, bro.
Instant gag reflex. Oh no.
They look like candy.
What is the attraction?
They look like candy. Oh my god, they instantly fucking...
Oh, nice stash.
Moment Jackson knew.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know what's worse, this or the fire challenge? Probably
What's the fire challenge?
You pour rubbing alcohol on your body and set yourself on fire.
Fire?
Yeah.
Darwinism as well. I don't know. It's just like the Earth's going to come up with its own ways to make us just kill ourselves off, and the stupid people are going to be the first ones to go.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
probably natural.
Something like that. If your common sense doesn't kick in that like maybe this isn't good for me and it might make me sick, it might even kill me, then have at it, boss. See what happens. Better you than me, right?
Yeah.
I'm joined this morning. This is CANCAST. I'm Craig. I'm joined this morning by my friend Lucas. Lucas is an ag college student and plant god. I got another video here I'm going to throw up of your one of your little collections here. If you just want to give me a quick tour. Sure. See if my videos work here. Still fucking working out on my kinks. There you go. So what we got here, buddy?
So I think this is a video from about 2014. It's raining heavily. Or maybe 2015. I can't quite remember. We're looking at some old, well, we just looked at some bananas. Now we're looking at the garden where the grapes are. And the raspberries in my apple tree.
Hang on, let me start this over. Craig's fucking around. Early morning podcast. All right, here we go.
So yeah, it's a heavy rainstorm in about 2014. A bunch of carnivorous plants there. With you can see the big plant is borage with the banana.
Okay, so that's the bee. Is that the bee attracting plant?
It does attract bees, but it also attracts spiders. It makes a little blue flower, so it might be different than what you're thinking of. Those are Japanese bananas on the balcony there. This is some seeded grapes. They're not very good. Raspberries by the compost there. That compost isn't there anymore. I got apple tree there. That one doesn't flower anymore or fruit properly, so I'm gonna have to get Noel to trim it. But yeah, this is like a couple years ago now.
I see a lack of lawn.
Yeah, it's almost completely gone.
That's a good call.
Yeah, I don't. It's kind of a waste of space. You don't get anything from it, and you put all your resources and time and money into it.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Just it's a really cool setup you got here. And how long have you been doing the plant thing? You've been doing it for a couple of years with your dad, right?
My dad's always been growing plants since he was young, but around 2009 I started getting into it because he had some bonsai in the living room.
Okay.
And I would just water them and stuff and spray them. Then he got an orchid late 2009, and that was like the start of the obsession.
Yeah.
Then we started getting more houseplants. First carnivorous plant was a Venus flytrap, and I killed it by closing its traps too much. So you're not supposed to do that. Also, I put it in normal soil with no drainage at all, so it rotted pretty quick.
Yeah, you're a big fan of the carnivorous plants, eh? The fly traps, and you got the pangoos. You're like the one Ontario dealer of the pangoos, as far as I know. What else? The sundews?
Sundews. I got nepenthes. I have the outdoor Sarracenia pitcher plant. Nepenthes is the Asian pitcher plant from the Southeast Asia in the tropics.
And what do? They like fill up their reservoir with like a syrup, right? And it attracts bugs.
I think they harvest the water through the roots. It goes into the pitcher, and the pitcher's like a rounded leaf that makes a cup, and it fills with a disgusting acidic liquid that dissolves like a stomach when things land in it.
Okay.
And it gets a little bit diluted from some rain, but they have a hood over top their opening to keep all the rain, or 90% of the rain out.
Cool. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Plants are cool. They do a lot of crazy stuff that we never even think about. The fly trap's really cool. How they have like the little triggers on them, so they won't like shut until like the fly triggers that or like walks over it. Yeah, really cool. Talk about some weed news really quick. Greece is finally getting around to starting their medicinal program, and they're like heavily in debt. I was reading up on this last night late, but they're talking about how the medical eventually will lead to recreational, and it might bring them out of their financial slump that they're in right now. Right now, I think they're just importing cannabis, probably from us, probably from Tweed or Aurora or something, come down the line. But they're talking about ramping up and getting their shit together.
Probably a lot of weed from Africa, too.
African weed, eh?
Probably, if they're in Greece, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just across the Mediterranean.
True. Yeah. I'm sure they have some kind of low-key setups down there. That's the thing. I don't know if there's money for cannabis down there.
Morocco, they got a lot of hash production.
True. Moroccan hash. That's very true. Good point.
And that feeds like all of Europe and Asia.
It's just ridiculous how some of these countries haven't even got on the medical bandwagon yet.
Yeah.
And then you've got us, who I'm not going to keep rambling on about Canada's awesome industry, but it's cool being taught by Bill.
Yeah.
Bill, what's his name?
McDonald?
Bill McDonald, yeah. He's the head honcho in the Canadian cannabis industry right now. First guy to be, like, teaching professionally in the world, as far as I know. Like, there's Oaksterdam down in the States, but they're still basically illegal. Yeah. And now Jeff Sessions and all his shit. What a dummy.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah,
they don't want money.
It's just scare tactics. Because now that Cali has, like, fully recreationalized or legalized recreational, he just, like, has a stick up his ass about weed, and he wants to like make people worried about starting businesses and setting things up, being like, ooh, we might still come and fuck your day up. But like, I don't know, it's just ridiculous down there, man. They need to get their shit together.
Yeah, they're gonna do the gangster thing where they go around fucking stealing shit, and then, you can open up again, then they come back 6 months later.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a fucking constant circus down there, and it's just fun to watch from up here.
Yeah.
Damn, I had a really good point there, and I totally forget. Too early, man. Too early. Totally lost me. So I guess we'll get into our next video here. I talked briefly about Tweed there. The first federally licensed LP in Canada. They've been going since 2000. I want to say 2014. 14? I could probably look that up really quick, but fuck it. Tweed, they started out up north, Smith Falls. They're talking about how that's like Canada's cannabis candyland, but really there's nothing up there besides Smith Falls. So I really think where we're at right now is going to be the real cannabis, hotspot for Ontario, at least, because we have the tourism. We're so close to the border. All the Americans who can't do their shit down there want to come over for the day and, have some fun.
Yeah, especially with the price difference, it'll be cheaper, I guess, right?
That's also very true. The weed here will literally be cheaper than the weed there. Well, it already is, but I mean, like, the legal weed here will be cheaper than theirs there just because of the dollar.
Yeah.
We were talking to a buddy yesterday about the American US dollar. What is it? Their minimum wage is $9. That would make it about $11.50 here today. And I mean, like, I think that makes more sense than hiking it up to $14 an hour and having to inflate everything else.
Yeah.
Putting people who are going to be in the workforce in a couple of years up into a higher pay bracket maybe, and taking more money from us. So I don't know,
and letting less people actually get low paying jobs.
It looks good on the surface, but that's just for the dummies who don't think about the fallout. $14 an hour, that's perfect, nothing else is going to change. No. $14 an hour goes up, everything else goes up. Cost of fucking, I wonder if weed prices will be affected right out of the gate. They're saying it's going to be like $10 a gram, and then I think 10% tax on anything higher than that.
So it's going to be like 15 or more.
Something like that, yeah. But as I've said before, any step towards true legalization is a step in the right direction. and wouldn't be here today without Trudy. So
Yep.
got to give him props where he gets the props, I guess.
Yeah, even though he does have
Just stop going on vacation so much, man.
He's
Stick
got a bit of
around
a-
for a while before you get out.
weird track record, that guy.
Talking about the states again briefly, they've been doing like research on alcohol abuse after like legalization. Medical states, they've seen decreases in like 13% of drinking and driving, alcohol abuse, stuff like that. And I guess people have been switching a little bit to the weed because obviously it's safer. It's not gonna give you a hangover the next day, shit like that.
Yeah.
And that's only in the medical states for the people who are willing to say they're medical patients in air quotes, or they smoke recreationally, get it from somewhere else. But yeah, 13% is a good little good dip so far. I feel like if they were to give it another couple years, let the recreational really come in, get the social norm a little bit higher, and then they did that and see who's really saying that they would choose booze over weed, I feel like that number would be a lot lower. Time will tell. It's just nice to see this slow awakening of people coming around to being like, it's not so bad. People actually using it for medicine and stuff now instead of getting hooked on their oxys or whatever the hell they're taking from the doctor.
Yeah, or getting fucking drunk every weekend, becoming an alcoholic over the months and years.
But they won't smoke weed because mommy and daddy told me not to back in the day.
Yeah.
And I can't think for myself, and why should I?
Alcohol is so much safer for me.
Definitely, man, definitely. Yeah, let's talk about the orchids for a second. You're a big fan of the orchids, right?
I've got like 200 in my house.
200. How many would you say are like known species in the world of orchids?
I probably only have like 20 hybrids, so the rest are species. They're from a place down in Jordan Station called Cloud's Orchids.
Okay.
He's one of the biggest suppliers of orchids in the area,
cool.
but it's not like wholesale. He does really rare stuff, so it's things you can't find anywhere else.
Like that cool monkey one or the duck?
Actually, those are a little too hard to grow. He only does stuff that survives in a house.
What are the names of those two that I was just talking about? The monkey face one?
That's genus Dracula, and I'm not sure the duck one.
True.
That's from Australia.
If you guys are bored, definitely just Google orchid monkey and orchid duck because they look exactly like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool flowers.
Yeah, orchids are weird. They have to mimic a certain specific pollinator. They don't have a wide variety of pollinators usually. Some do, the more invasive orchids. But the most exotic looking ones, the nicest flowers, have the weirdest pollinators. And that's the reason they're so weird looking, is to attract that specific pollinator.
True. So it wouldn't be just for like a honeybee or something. It would be for something more specific? Or?
Usually it's small stuff.
Oh, okay.
Or like some orchids have really long parts on them called a spathe, I think, where the moth puts its proboscis in, and it has to go to the back to get the pollen.
Cool.
That kind of stuff.
So is that like a safety measure, or is that like a fucking? I guess it's just like not kind of like survival of the fittest in the sense that like it needs the proper tool to reproduce, right?
Yeah, I think it might be symbiotic, like it's a shared relationship almost.
So what does the moth get out of that? Just the sugars?
The
and stuff?
sugar, yeah.
Okay, that makes
And
more
the
sense.
pollen.
Yeah. True. So it's just like a natural. It's kind of like how we're supposed to get like our sugars from like a strawberry, for example.
Yeah.
Right? And it's kind of like a trick to get all the goodness that's in that fruit because we're attracted to it because it's sweet, right? And now you have, well, in this day and age, everybody kind of monopolizing on that sense alone, just like people like that sweet sense or that trigger in their head that gives you that little dopamine kick. And it's like, how can we market this?
Yeah.
How can we make people addicted to it quicker,
Yeah, extracting chemicals without the whole profile or whatever.
Fructose, sucrose, baby.
Yeah. With no nutrients.
Oh, that's the thing. That's why the fucking Western civilization is in the health crisis that it is. But I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about like that, so I'm going to move on to what? I'm not too sure. We covered the Tide Pods. We talked about Greece. Did we do the tour? We did not do the tour. I got to rambling. All right, let me see if I can figure this shit out. Too early. But I'm glad we got this in. I don't know when we're going to get another opportunity.
Yeah, no, it's been busy lately.
Boom. I don't know where my volume is, and it's really bugging me.
Hey, I'm James West. There's Cannabis channel. Today we're going to take you behind. At Canopy Growth Corp, we were given unprecedented access to the largest publicly traded cannabis grower in the world.
Nice clean facility.
Yeah, you gotta be on the ball with that shit, man. It's Health
President
Canada,
of
right?
Canopy, Mark Coulin, shares his thoughts on the legalization of marijuana in Canada at Canopy's flagship operation in Smiths Falls, Ontario. Mark, thanks for inviting us.
Thanks a lot for coming
I've
out.
seen this guy before.
So,
What's
in
his
terms
name?
of the growth of the
Mark
sector in the industry is 2017.
Mark Tweed?
Important, exciting
You know, there's a lot going on.
operation in Smiths Falls,
Down.
Ontario. Mark, thanks for inviting us.
Mark.
Thanks a lot
Just go
for
by
coming
Mark.
down.
So, in terms of the growth of the sector in the industry is 2017. Important, exciting.
You know, there's a lot going on, right? I mean, there is, you know, we've had
Oh, look at that assembly line of
this, you know,
weed.
really historic legislation, and we'll
They're
see a
just
bunch of
chopping the shit
details
out of that
come, but
weed
it's
so fast.
it's a big moment, right? It's the signal that
Oh my God, a whole tote
you
full
know,
of weed.
legalization truly is coming. And that,
so that
you
was
know,
like a
everything we're
mechanical
doing
trimmer, and
to
then on the other
you know,
side, you'd
grow
have,
our
like, your
footprint
hand
exponentially,
scissor
to build
cut all
our
the
infrastructure.
extra shit
And
off.
all of these things are the right things to do, and
They should get
more.
them to do that
Now's
maybe
the time.
bare hand, so
And,
they
you
can
know,
scrape the
certainly,
hash off. Unless they
it
get
feels
it off
like
the
next year
problem.
will be the
Keep
time
it
and the year
making
after as well,
edibles.
but
Yeah,
I
no,
think
extra cuttings.
we'll see a
I
lot
mean,
of
the stuff on the
shape
gloves
this year.
from
and
touching
I'm
the
Oh,
very
gloves.
they
excited
might.
to
You
be.
never know.
Yeah, that's
Tell me, what is the
like live
product
hash,
output
ready to go.
profile of
It could just be like store your glove or have a bin by the door. At
So
the end of
it's
the day, you
quite a
throw your
spread,
gloves
right?
in,
So
it gets
we
put
have,
into a
you know,
container,
this facility
isopropyl
here in Smiths
alcohol,
Falls, which is our
leave that to sit
flagship
for a night, and
facility,
then boil out the alcohol, and you have
just has
hash.
increased
So
production
maybe
by
that's
about
something to do.
50%.
Yeah.
So this is, you know, sort of the biggest site, the main site. I think some of the other brands that you see in our store today,
Snoop Dogg
Leaves by
smokes
Snoop,
all their weed in one day.
or our
he's
DNA
invested with
genetics
them hardcore.
products. You know, these guys, Don and Aaron, have won
Makes sense.
the most
DNA
cannabis
genetics,
cups
too.
of
Fuck's
anyone
sake,
in
I
the
didn't know
world,
that.
over 150.
Snoop should
And
become a
that's, you know,
dual
that's a history that
citizen.
you just can't buy. It will
He
take a
did
lot of
say
time
that
to
if
get
Trump
to their
got
level
in,
of
he was
expertise,
moving to
and ultimately for them to
Toronto.
provide the
didn't happen.
genetics.
That did not
They
happen,
then
ladies and
certify.
gentlemen.
They say,
Snoop
look,
is still
these are
American
the
citizen.
genetics that are as
Snoop
good
got
as
too high
we-
and forgot he even
we've
said that.
grown to a way that we would grow, and we're willing to associate our name with this.
Among the challenges cannabis growers struggle with is how to protect their crops legally. Vegetation such as cannabis is naturally occurring in the world and presents even greater
We
challenges.
built out our own breeding
People with
facility,
guns, bugs.
so we will cross this male
I've
with
had
this
plants
female,
stolen
come up with
before,
something that
it's
is
no fun.
truly unique to
My neighbor
us.
had his plant stolen
and that's
once. He
where you
was
start
like 7
getting
feet tall.
into plant breeders' rights and really showing the care we put in of the smell of the taste. We've created a brand new genetic. That's where you start to enter that legal world to really protect something that you've put a
Well,
lot
they're
of,
gonna start
of
copyrighting
energy and
weed.
work into creating.
Genetics
Today,
you can
the
copyright.
sky's the limit, and
Like,
that's
that's how,
true
like,
for
companies
medical.
like
That's true for
Monsanto and
recreational.
shit
We're
can copyright
proud
the
of what we
corn
do.
and crap like that.
We
So
think
if they
we're
make
good at what we do, and
a
we think
breed-
there's a wealth
usually
of
a hybrid.
opportunity. And
That's
we
what I
wanna
mean. They'll
participate in
take
all
two
of this.
mother
Have you
plants
been
like
able
Northern
to
Lights
reach
and
an
I don't
all-in
know,
cost
German poison
of
mixed
per
together,
gram of
and then they can
production?
patent that.
You're still in
Yeah,
a
northern
build-out
poison.
phase, right? So
There
you're
you go.
carrying costs for a full
Get on it.
168,000
The
square
vault.
feet. It's now only now getting fully built out to spread that cost across.
that's a lot
You
of
can
money.
have your cake and eat it too. You can have this exceptionally high threshold for quality, for regulatory, rigor,
Stuck
and,
to
and
his
all of
glove.
the things that go along with this. But because you're at such scale, you can compete with the black market or anyone else.
You can until the
What do you
government
say to
fucks
critics
up.
who
Yeah, they'll
categorize
eventually fuck it up
the
somehow.
entire investment landscape
Yeah, you know
of
those weed
cannabis
laws?
in
They're
Canada
not strict
currently
enough.
as a
You
bubble
don't have
or
to
overvalued?
I mean, it's certainly
fucking
it's
strict
a
like
roller
that.
coaster ride. There's a lot of
You can't smoke 5
You
hours
have to
before
build
driving.
like a designated smoke room in your house. Has to be airtight.
Seriously?
No window. No, I'm just saying. Like this would be the next step to where they're
Ah.
taking because you already like aren't allowed to smoke it in public.
Yeah.
It has to be like in your private domicile.
That's pretty dumb. Smoke cigarettes out in the open.
Yeah.
Oh well. They'll,
One thing at a time, right?
yeah, see what happens.
Step in the right direction. Let's finish.
a lot
the
of ups
video.
and downs and a lot of strong movement. But people are investing in the future, right? I mean, they see a future market for medical here in Canada, for recreational here in Canada, and so they're looking at the different companies
That
and they're
all just
looking at
happened.
who are they today and what do they stand for, what can they produce, but where are they going? We've tried to put together a compelling story because we do have great places that we're trying to go. Then you've layered
got
on
censored.
diversified growing, you've layered on the public markets, you've layered on a number of brands, you've built out that capacity, you've added oils, you've added capsules, now recreational, now there's questions, what's that distribution system look like?
Government-funded weed weed,
it's
man.
exciting, and
It's just the
2017 should be just as exciting, if not
Getting in
more
bed with the
exciting, and then
devil, but-
2018 even
Yeah.
more
Look
so.
at the weed.
Wonder if Timmy's will sell weed.
Well,
be
yeah,
cool.
apparently Shoppers is going to run the delivery portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what happens there. To be honest, I already get some of my weed through the mail, through a undisclosed location.
I guess I do too, technically, right?
But I don't know, do you?
Maybe. We'll never know.
But yeah, it's the gray market is still thriving. I think it will thrive for the next like few years to come until the government realizes that if they play nice, then that's when like the legit gray and black markets will go away.
Yeah.
Talking about getting plants stolen again. Yeah, I got 4 plants stolen when I was 19, 20 from my fucking backyard.
That sucks.
And the one thing that I can take away from that as a positive is loose lips sink ships. You might think you trust people and that
Yeah.
people are cool with you, friends that you've known for a long fucking time,
Yeah.
and that ain't the case. When it comes down to getting people high, that fucking seems to win a lot more than, you know, relationships and shit. Especially when you live around like shitty people who, you know, I don't want to shit on these people too much, but like, I'm not going to shit on them at all. It was just a shitty time. Learning experience though, right? So
Yeah.
I don't talk too much about my shit that I got going on now, but I've definitely been growing for a good little bit, and to have one, I think that was my second season growing, and to have one hiccup like that and then never again, it's just kind of like better to happen with 4 plants instead of 40 plants, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently,
So-
though, to keep a good secret, you're not supposed to tell more than 5 people. Because once you've told the fifth person, it's pretty much like more than 15 people will have known or something. Like it's the exponential rate of growth.
I feel like the best way to just, you know, keep peace of mind and shit is to like not tell anybody. It's the same idea with like locking doors and like it's just peace of mind, you know, locking your car door at night. Chances are nobody's going to break into your car, but it's just nice to be lying in bed at night knowing that, you know, you got to take that one extra step to get into my car. And if you do, then at least I have proof that it was locked, and then insurance and yada, 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 yada.
Yeah.
Rambling as usual. Yeah, man. Short and sweet. We got class coming up. We'll have to do this again when the green light comes on in a few months.
Sure.
Assuming Trudeau sticks to his word. He's saying that wasn't even his word now, that July 1st. He never said that. So
Oh, really?
we'll see what happens.